All right. Yeah, we're live. Okay. So yesterday we talked about how low back tightness can cause some anterior hip pain or hip flexor strains. Today I want to discuss how tight quadriceps, so the muscle on the front of your thigh, can affect the area as well. So let's add some muscles here. So yesterday we talked about the low back area. So these groups of muscles here, a little bit there. Today we're going to get more into the front area and talk about more in the thigh. So let's add some muscles on here. All right, so on the front of your thigh, we have a lot of different layers of muscles, as you can see. On this top layer, this is your big quadriceps muscle, the group here, and there's one that underlays it as well. But your quadriceps sits here. Majority of them attached to the top of the femur, the bone of the thigh. But we do have this one that does cross that hip joint, and it does become a contributor to hip flexion. So we'll take some of these off so you can see how that connects there. Along with that, we have this muscle that is, it essentially connects medial on the inside of that knee and then comes across the front. So a lot of times it does play into our hip flexion, and it can cause some issues as well that come along with that tight quadriceps area. And then this one also plays a lot into it. This one connects to our IT band, which essentially is a band of tissue. So that IT band itself, a lot of people say they have tightness in the IT band. This is truly where your tightness is, or it's actually in that lateral quadricep. That lateral quad is actually a pretty large muscle. This lays over the top of it. So we can get some restrictions in between that IT band and that quadricep. And that's usually when you feel those that tightness in there between that restriction there or this guy being tight causing a pull on there. So why does tightness here can cause hip flexor strains? So if our quadricep is tight, especially this front one that crosses here, being that its function is to both straighten the knee and flex the hip, it's working double time. If the quadricep becomes tight, this has to work double time. Typically, it's this guy that gets a little bit tight. So we take layers of muscles off, take one layer off. Then as we cross that hip, it makes everything, if this isn't firing as it should, it makes all of these other muscles work a little bit harder. So this one and this one are those ones that lay deep in the abdomen, which are your hip flexors connecting to your spine as well. These are some smaller ones, mostly adductors, your pectineus here. It's a small one, it contributes a little bit to hip flexion. But because this guy does cross the hip, if the quadricep becomes tight, it can contribute to that hip flexor strain, hip flexor pain, anterior hip pain problem. So like yesterday, I can't see any comments, so whoever's watching, if you've left any comments, I cannot answer those right now because I can't see them with the screen that I'm on. But I will get back to those. I will answer any questions that have come on while I'm on this live later. And then if you're watching this on replay, definitely put any questions down below in the comments section if you have any questions regarding what I talked about today. Or if you just have any questions in general about your specific pain, I'd be happy to answer that as well. So as usual, comment below if you have any questions or comments regarding what I talked about today. Or you may also reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to discuss anything with you. So that's what I got for you today. I will be back on again tomorrow to talk about more anterior hip pain things for you. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye.